Hello, welcome back to Falcon Blues TV. Hope you're all doing okay. This is our Wolverhampton Wanderers preview, Saturday the 30th of August, 3 o'clock kickoff at Molineux. And I'm delighted to be joined by a special guest today for this preview. It's Dan from the Wolfpack fan group. Dan, nice one for joining us, mate. Appreciate you taking the time to come on.
No problem.
Safe to say it's not been the best of starts for Wolves at the moment. I know two defeats has put you down there where no one wants to be, but are you seeing yourselves? Are you seeing like were you expecting that you'll be all right to get out of the situation? I know it's 2 games, and I'm trying not to say what it is, but it was a poxy result against it was Fulham, wasn't it?
So we lost against Bournemouth.
Sorry, 1-0, wasn't it? Yeah, but you went a man down, didn't you, as well?
And we obviously lost to Man City, but we kind of took that on the chin anyway. Yeah. But we thought about the Bournemouth game. We thought, if we showed something against Bournemouth, we could at least, stay positive.
Yeah.
And ultimately wasn't really the best game for us, really, to be honest. We've looked good in spells, and there's been some positivity here and there. Obviously, we've just played against West Ham in the cup and won that, and scored some goals, which was mad. I think we were capable. So there's some positive signs. Looks like Strand Larsen's staying around now because Newcastle was sniffing around for him. So we've obviously got some goal threat, which is always good. So yeah, I wasn't particularly positive after selling as many players as we have. We got rid of some of our key players in Cunha, Aït-Nouri, Semedo. You're getting rid of some top quality, and it was always going to be quite tricky for us. But there's some of us are a little bit more sort of optimistic. We're doing some better bits in the window now. Some new signings coming in and filling those spaces that we really, really need depth in. So it's a hard one, really. It's a difficult one. You almost stay optimistic because it's your team, don't you? You do that anyway, don't you?
Of course.
But then you've got to also be pragmatic and think, actually, we are still very much in the bottom 3. And to be honest, it is going to be quite tricky, isn't it? The teams that have come up look a little bit more threatening than last year. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a hard season. It really is going to be a hard season. I know that much.
Yeah, it seems like whenever Wolves try and take that step forward, you suddenly just your board just decimates your team, and you lose left, right, and centre. I mean, Cunha was the big one, Aït-Nouri as well, and it's just like, how do you get out of it? And then obviously, Gary O'Neill was your manager for a while, and then you brought in Vitor Pereira. Pereira was on Everton's radar for a long, long time. There was things going on between him and Lampard at the time that we were looking to get him. Obviously, he's taken the plunge and gone to Wolves. What are your thoughts on Pereira as a manager for you? Do you think he's capable of progressing and pushing Wolves to where you want to be, or do you think maybe we need to look elsewhere soon and once you're stabilised a bit more? Or
I don't think Vitor's the problem. I really don't. I feel like, you saw last season we won 6 games in a row with Vitor Pereira, and there was some tricky fixtures in that. Yeah. When you're playing the teams that are around you, sometimes they can be the ones that you slip up on the most, and we've seen that in previous years with Wolves. We've been able to beat the teams above us for some reason. We've always struggled about the teams around us, and when Vitor came in, there was a lot to do. We were really up against it. We just lost to Ipswich, who was, it really looked like we were going to go down. It really did. It came in, we beat Leicester, we beat Man United, we beat all these different teams that were in and around the bottom half of the table. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, wow, what a guy, do you know what I mean? And he showed a lot of positiveness, and he was in and around the fans, saw himself in Wetherspoons in the middle of the town centre, and It was good. It was really good. And obviously, it's the Premier League. You know what I mean? You lose one game, or you draw one game, or you show a negative performance here and there, and ultimately that's going to be followed up by more and more.
Yeah.
And then the pressure started piling on, really.
On, isn't it, as well, isn't it? You're not judged on, oh, well, we just won 6 on the spin there.
Yeah.
Well, no, you've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you know, where do you weigh up your negativity to your positivity? It's like,
that's the problem.
Yeah. But with that, then, I suppose it's probably similar to how Moyes came in. Moyes come in at the beginning of, around about January time.
Yeah.
And completely turned Everton around. And I suppose with Pereira as well, you go, well, what would have happened if he'd been given a full season?
This is just it. We should have replaced Gary O'Neill after the Brentford defeat, where we just looked inept in general. Like, there was not an area of the pitch I was confident with. We should have replaced him then, and it would have been a very, very different season, I think.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like Gary O'Neill had some good qualities. Like, I feel like he was very good around the players and everything, but I just don't think he was quite ready for that Premier League push, really.
Yeah, he did seem to wear his heart on the sleeve an awful lot as well. He seemed to take a lot of defeats to take it to heart as well. You could see how upset, like, genuinely, like, fuming with results when he went their way, you know.
I can see him being a good manager in the future. I really can. I feel like if he started to climb the ladder now, going to a championship side and everything, and I could see him being a very good Premier League manager eventually, because he's got a lot about him. You know, he's very adaptable, which is very rare in managers. So I do see something positive with Gary O'Neill. But ultimately, when Vitor came in, showed a lot more about him, had a little bit more of an aura about him. Players really bought into his system, and really a lot of our players were just thrown by the wayside. I mean, Gary O'Neill said in an interview that we can't win anything with these players. You know what I mean? Ultimately, throwing them in the bin. Vitor takes them out the bin and shines them off, and we start winning games. We start looking more positive. We stay in the Premier League. That was the goal. The goal was for Vitor Pereira, as soon as he came in, keep Wolves in the league, and you've done your job, basically. And we were always going to lose players, because the way our team works is it's supposed to be a sustainable thing. So if we can make money on players, we'll sell them, and then we'll sort of replace them with young talent or whatever, and try and find a few gems and whatever. But the only problem is with that is we've done it too much now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not like Brighton. We haven't got the depth. We haven't got players coming in left, right, and centre. So it's on the ownership, really, where Wolves have been struggling for me. Like, they're very, very stubborn. We've got a very stubborn ownership, and that's really where the fault lies. Hopefully, with us keeping Strand Larsen, with us making decent signings, spending quite a bit of money, that can start turning the ship round now, and we can start to progress forward.
Yeah, well, I know you're looking at a player that Everton have been looking at for quite a while as well, from Middlesbrough, with Hayden Hackney. Terrific player. Yes. I mean, I've even seen Bob Mortimer come out on Twitter and say, I would be devastated if Hayden Hackney ends up leaving Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Are there any more likely to have any more signings in before Monday yourselves? Or, I mean, if Hackney does make that move.
Yeah, we're signing a striker called Tolu. He's an African lad, a Nigerian lad, and his goal scoring record's absolutely mental. So that should be happening very, very soon. But interesting with Wolves is we played West Ham, and what Wolves fans were quite happy to see was Vitor sort of changing up the formation a little bit, and playing 2 strikers ahead of a 10 instead of playing 2 10s ahead of a striker. And we started seeing some really nice patterns of play. So with a new striker coming in, and Sasha Kalajdzic looking a little bit more better, and keeping fit, having those two strikers further forward is going to help Wolves. So I feel like that's why we're a bit more in the striker market, and why we've kept the strikers that we have. Feel like Vitor's going to want to explore that sort of formation, because we did really well. I know we're up against West Ham and they're struggling, but you've seen again. Yeah, I mean, you've looked. I'm going to say it. You looked at United. Mm-hmm. They're up against opposition that they should be beating, or at least should be getting a result from.
Shouldn't be going for extra time and penalties. Certainly not.
Exactly. And you look at that West Ham win now, and you think, actually, that's quite substantial. Do you know what I mean? It's Premier League opposition. We're both struggling. That win could spark a little bit of belief, really, in the team. But I think Everton are doing really well at the moment. I saw David Moyes coming in last season, and I just thought that's a perfect moment for him to come back to me and show a little bit about him. And it was weird because when David Moyes was looking for jobs, we were kind of looking for a manager as well. And when he was linked to Wolves at one point, came for interviews and whatever, I was really happy about the idea of having David Moyes. But I think I was like one of the only Wolves fans that was. And I'm just like, I don't really get why. He's okay. People have slated him left, right, and centre, but you know what I mean. I feel like he gives you a lot of stability. I think that's the kind of manager
he gives Everton a sensible head, which is something that we've lacked for quite a while.
Exactly.
With all bad, but and I think people look to his West Ham record of more defeats and losing games constantly under West Ham. But at the same time, he dragged them to a European final. You know what I mean? Okay, it might be the Europa Conference, but it's a European trophy in the end, and it's silverware that
exactly.
Getting. And it's like, well, he's capable of doing it if he's got the right personnel. I think Everton were always that one striker behind, or that one midfielder, that one player who could unlock a game for you, and that's why Moyes was successful, if you like, in how Everton play. We become hard to beat. We graft out results, but we just can't break that level.
I'm not confident against Everton, to be honest. Like, I'm looking at that team. You've made some clever signings, and it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a very, very tough game, but hopefully with the win under our belt, I know it's in a cup competition or whatever.
Confidence,
but
it's all confidence. So
confidence and I mean, Strand Larson sticking around and bags in 2 goals. That could have been what he needed to be like, right, okay, I'm still in this. I can still do this. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not massively confident, and I see a very, very tough fixture, to be honest. And obviously playing you twice is going to be quite challenging. But I guess we'll get used to one another at least.
That's it. And they're both at Molineux as well, so the home advantage use a little bit there as well. But looking at that, and Everton had a good result the other day against Mansfield, yourself against West Ham. So we're both in a it's not form, is it? But a bit of confidence going into Saturday. So hopefully it'll be an entertaining game as well.
It's a big win for you against Brighton as well, wasn't it?
Huge. We needed that more for the stadium than the actual 3 points.
Definitely.
We needed that to be, because you lose that just becomes synonymous. So, well, they lost the first game at the new stadium. The confidence just gets sapped out of the fans. But we've been quite buoyant. We're really pleased with the recent signings. Jack Grealish, obviously, Tyler Dibblin coming in, and making his debut the other day. Keenan Dewsbury Hall's one player I've been looking at for forever. Fantastic, hard-working player. And Tierno Barry is very young, still learning the Premier League. He's only played probably barely played like an hour yet of Premier League football. But we've got someone like Beto who can just go in and just be like a battering ram, which is how it ended up being in the second half against Mansfield. So I'm hoping it'll be an entertaining game for us as well. But hopefully that's something that we take on. We've got an international break. Then we got Villa at home. Then we've got the red shite away, and then it'd be used as well in that week as well. So it's a busy week for us. But then it'd be like, well, we want to keep games going, keep that momentum and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. You going tomorrow? Are you there?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll definitely be there in the North Bank, loving life. But I'm quietly optimistic just because it'll be interesting to see whether Vitor plays that system he did against West Ham in the second half.
Yeah,
be very, very interesting just because it sparked a lot of curiosity amongst Wolves fans because we saw a lot more attacking play. Our wing backs got further forward and there was more cover behind. It's going to be very, very intriguing to see that, to be fair. I don't think... Well, we could potentially see a debut for a new centre-back, but whether that happens or not, I'm not sure. Because we've struggled a little bit in defence recently. We made a new signing, Ladislav Kreshki, and he's very, very good at sort of maintaining the ball under pressure and releasing the ball because we've struggled with that. And teams have punished us by sort of piling on these players that aren't great on the ball, like Totti, Agbadou, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see whether he plays a part. And John Arias played very, very well against West Ham in a single 10 role instead of having the 2 10s. So if we do like a single 10, it'll be interesting to see how he fares against more Premier League opposition because he was unlocking West Ham quite easily with some key passes. So quite a few players that I'd be watching out for. We've also signed a player called Jackson, who we play as a wing back to try out, and he's very, very fast, very fast. And we've been lacking pace in this team for a very long time. Got rid of Pedro Neto, got rid of Adama Traore, very, very fast players. And we've been left with basically players that are quite stagnant and stick around too much. So nice to have some pace in the team and nice to have a bit of stability at the back. So hopefully these new signings can help us.
Yeah, spot on. Right, okay, I'm going to wrap this up then, Dan, because it's been really good to talk to you and hear a bit more about Wolf and everything else. So if you want to follow the Wolfpack on Twitter and YouTube, you can do. And Dan, do you want to give us those details?
Yeah, so it's at Wolfpack, WWFC, all one word.
Good stuff. And as usual, let's get it to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. We've got a couple of days, but let's do it. We've got 45 to go. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Insta, on Twitter, on Facebook. You know all the score. You know where it all is now. Until then, up to fucking toffees. Colin Chung. See you in a bit. Dan, thank you very much today, mate.
Nice one, mate. Nice one.